but the biological basis for psychology, or the psychological, what's called psychobiological. It studies biological and genetic elements of human emotions and behavior, and basically two areas of the body, the endocrine system and the nervous system. So that's what we're going to concentrate on. How it affects us psychologically. The endocrine system, hormones can affect us psychologically. The nervous system can affect us psychologically. Now, this would be the type of thing you would study at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. This is what they emphasize, this psychobiological study. The endocrine system, first of all, which is secretion of hormones through the glands in our body that release these chemical substances or hormones into the body, and they regulate different bodily functions. Now, a hormone only influences a cell that has the receptor for that specific hormone. The body is amazingly well designed. I mean, it is an amazing system that, you know, how would a particular cell know to pick up this particular hormone? Well, it's created to have a receptor for that hormone, and it doesn't pick up any other hormones, okay, unless it has receptors for them. And some of the glands include these, and we're going to look at a few of these and how they affect us. We won't look at all of them, I don't think. We'll have time to do that. But we'll look at some of them and how they affect people psychologically. And also then we'll look at the nervous system, and there's the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is simply the brain and spinal cord. That makes sense. That's kind of the hub of all the nerves, okay? All the nerves in your body run through the central nervous system, through the brain and the spinal cord. And the peripheral nervous system are all the other nerves, okay? But outside of the brain and the spinal column, it's the peripheral nervous system. And this is all in the textbook. This follows pretty close to the textbook. Here's our nervous system guy. And you see the central nervous system is the brain and the spinal cord. And then the peripheral nervous system are all these other nerves that run off from those. Now, here's your brain. Isn't it pretty? It's probably not, it's definitely not this color. But anyway. The lower brain is what we're going to talk about first. And you see some things like the hypothalamus and pituitary gland and cerebellum have very big effects on you psychologically. And I'm going to go through a lot of this quickly because this is just reference material. You can look at it. Here's how the peripheral nervous system works and how different things that are affected by the nerves, saliva flow, dilating of the pupils, the parasympathetic makes it kind of happen, and the sympathetic makes it happen, parasympathetic kind of turns it back down. Here's the somatic system. Somatic system, and what you need to know about that is it controls the voluntary muscles, which is most of your body movements. In other words, this morning when you awakened, you didn't have to say, okay, heart, start pumping. Now, you might have felt kind of like you were dead, but you probably weren't. If you felt dead, you weren't dead. Got it? Okay. You felt something. And, you say, okay, start breathing. Let's go. And no, that's the involuntary. But when it was time to get out of bed, and you were lying there arguing with yourself, saying, oh, I don't want to get up. Oh, I surely don't need to get up this early. Oh, why do they have class this early at this college? Why do they believe in torturing students like this? You know? And so you went through that, and finally, evidently, at least by general psychology time, you convinced yourself to get up and go to class, okay? I have no idea what happened prior to that, but at least you made it to class. That's because you were mastering your somatic system, okay? Controlling it, okay? And, the autonomic system is the involuntary muscles, the heart, stomach, skin, what we do without thinking about it. The sympathetic is kind of that excitement part, what makes things happen, okay? If you, it's kind of the fight or flight. You know, if you're pretty calm, a whole lot of that's not happening. But if something threatens you right now, you know, a mean dog comes charging into this classroom, or a snake slithers in, how many of you would feel a fight or flight? You know, and some of you would. The rest of you, you never convinced your somatic system to start moving and thinking, okay. But if a snake or a mad dog came in here, it probably would. It would probably kick in real fast. Probably the involuntary would definitely take place too. Your heart rate would start increasing, you would start perspiring, you'd start breathing fast and heavy, and you know, that's the sympathetic system, okay? And that's what stress is. Anybody stressed? Okay, your sympathetic system is working overtime, okay? Now, if you relax, maybe some of you were able to relax over the Labor Day weekend. And some of you, if you've been really stressed with the beginning of school and all of this, and then the weekend came, maybe when you got a chance to relax, you just kind of, it was like, I have no energy whatsoever. Did anybody experience that? I feel wiped out. All I want to do is sleep and sit around and go into neutral. Your parasympathetic system was crash landing. You can only maintain the stress for so long. I illustrated, if you've ever had an automobile accident, and usually in a class like this, somebody has experienced an automobile accident, unfortunately. And what typically happens is you get, you know, the adrenaline starts pumping. You know, I mean, it's got a surge. I mean, you can almost hear the pump, you know, and the adrenaline is surging, and you have this energy, and you're ultra alert. That's why people say, my life passed before my eyes. You're just hyper alert, and you move more quickly, you have more energy. You've heard about people lifting a car off of somebody, you know, that they couldn't normally do. It's adrenaline pumping.
Also, it deadens your pain senses.
Yes.
So even though you may be injured, you won't feel it as much, and you'll still move to get yourself to a safe place.
Yeah, it deadens the pain. That's a safety feature, so you can respond early on. But trust me, that ends. And the parasympathetic system kicks in, and all of a sudden it's, ouch, I hurt. This is awful. And all of a sudden, you know, and I've seen this happen, even with people that were not injured in an accident. You know, they're real hyper, and they're all excited, and all of a sudden things start to slow down, and you watch them. They start to tremble. Why are they trembling? Wimps, scared. No, it's the body. It's the adrenaline. They've just had this hyper surge of adrenaline. I mean, they've been on drugs for a little while. Natural drugs, but it's real. And they start shaking, and they say, I need to sit down. You know, it's like, what's wrong with me? I was just had all this energy in just a moment, you know. It's the parasympathetic system. Well, that's what happens in some urgent situation. But it also happens in sustained sympathetic response or stress. A little bit of adrenaline in stress is actually good for you. It's not wrong to, I mean, good things make you stressed. you do something that really makes you happy, you're probably feeling some sympathetic responses in your body. It's why you feel energized and happy. That's good. But you can't live there all the time. And students, if you're going to be successful in life as well as a student at God's Bible School, you better learn how to find the parasympathetic landing. And do it before it's a crash landing.